don't even know how to operate it, that's what I was telling you.
I'll tell you what, if I'd been chairman, I'd gavel and stop the meeting. Now, turn the phones down.
I think that's about, usually I leave it back here, I running,
Waiting
goofing
for your
around.
girlfriend to call you or what?
Huh?
Is you waiting on your girlfriend to call you?
I wished.
I think I won't tell Debbie
Yeah, I know.
in a heartbeat.
Well, we're going live. We're live.
She would probably be happy.
I will say it's,
Now we're live.
Let's get that roll call.
Mike, you're up.
Okay, we're going to open the May 6th Plan Commission meeting to order. I'll go ahead and do roll call. Jim Crook.
Here.
Derry Hutcherson.
Here. Here.
Okay, Dylan Little.
Here.
Owen Cross.
Present.
Brett Bondurant is absent. Lenny Fryman.
Here.
Tony Abbott.
Here.
Tom Blondell.
Here.
And myself. Okay, has everyone read the previous minutes? If so, and you're good with it, I do need a motion and a second to accept it.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? We're gonna do this by roll call, people, since this is a virtual meeting. Jim Crook.
Aye.
Okay, Derry Hutcherson.
Aye.
Okay, Owen Cross.
Aye.
Lenny Fryman.
Aye.
Tony Abbott.
Aye.
And that means that all are in favor, so we have accepted our previous minutes. The only staff report that I have tonight is that as of today, we will actually hold a normal meeting in June, but that's still yet to be determined. We will have a BZA hearing the end of this month that will be handled the same way in a virtual meeting. Other than that, unless anyone's got any questions on the information submitted in the packet, we'll move on to new business.
Hey, Mike, this is Brett Bunder, and I just wanted to let you know that I jumped on when you guys were
Okay.
in that last vote.
Thanks, Brett. Got you in here. Okay, new business then. Do we have a representative of Sonorama? If so, go to the podium, make your
The
presentation.
site plan stuff first or the signage stuff first?
Go through the site plan first,
Wanna do that? Yeah, that's fine.
and then we'll go through the variances,
Okay.
which include
Okay.
the signage.
Thank you.
Can everybody hear me okay? This is Eric Lang with Land Consultants. We are the design professional on this project. So for those of you who aren't in the middle of this project, this is on the old Ponderosa site. The project aims to construct a single-story, pre-engineered metal building, approximately 90 by 150. That building will be elevated out of the floodplain. We have designed this to be about 2 inches higher than what we verified the new auto parts store, which I believe is O'Reilly's just down the way. We've double-checked that elevation. We've been through Army Corps, IDEM, DNR, and the local soil and water from the standpoint of permitting, because there is a drainage path that runs along the side that they're a little bit concerned with. We have put those questions to rest, and we are currently in the process of importing fill, compacting fill, and raising the site to prepare for the building pad elevation to be certified. This site accesses US 50 off of Sherlight Drive. Sherlight Drive is a private road. It is not a city street. The Sherlight people and Kevin have been working together, and in fact, Kevin purchased about an acre off the back end of the old Ponderosa property in order to expand that site rearward far enough. One of the things that this project will do will increase mobility for both the Sherlight people as well as Kevin at Sinorama for heavy truck traffic to pull in off of 50 and get a much better turning movement onto Sherlight Drive, turning around, backing into the Sherlight property as well as getting into the Sinorama property, and then being able to make a much easier turn and get back out onto US 50. We've got parking in the front on the Sinorama project for some employees and mostly future patrons. We've got plenty of parking shown in the rear for the trucks that he uses daily, as well as the employees that will park back there. There's access in the rear to back up vehicles up to the building and have about a 4-foot truck dock elevation, moving material in and out of there, as well as a ramp that they can move vehicles into the back of the site. They also do like a vehicle wrap type of operation, so that'll be where they move customers' vehicles in and out to do those. Detention will occur in the rear. We've got a detention basin shown there. Site drainage is pretty much the same as what the drainage was prior when Ponderosa owned it, although we're cleaning up the water and taking care of that, whereas Ponderosa just dumped it right into that swale. From a traffic standpoint, the traffic impact will be much less than what that restaurant was. I'll let Kevin talk about whatever signage he needs. I think that's the long and short of it as far as the site parameters and what we're doing there. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer those at this time.
Okay, Eric, would you touch on one item on the variance request for the hard surface in the rear of the...
Okay. At the moment, we have a fair amount of concrete shown there. Both the front and the majority of the rear parking lot is currently shown as concrete. Kevin has requested that we show an area in gravel in the back where there will be material and trailers and some different things that will require room to lay down. That would probably not work really well with a concrete parking lot. It would work better if it was a stabilized stone surface because of the things that'll be scooted around and moved back there. I believe Lawrenceburg requires that to be entirely hard surface. But given the use, the distance off of 50 and where that's going to occur, should not be an issue from the standpoint of being a nuisance, creating dust. It's just a little better surface to do what he's going to do with it from the standpoint of storage and having that surface not get marred up and beat up from storing equipment and material and some things that'll be moved in and out of that area. The area will need to be stabilized at some point anyway. There'll be, on occasion, that truck might need to temporarily utilize a little bit of that as they're turning, but mostly that area will be for outdoor storage of material on occasion.
So you're saying it's gonna be gravel back in the back?
The very back, there'll be a large strip of gravel where the concrete ends and where the gravel begins. There'll be a strip back there where he can lay out, whether that's metal for his signage or some posts or things. It'll be temporary off and on, but it'll be an area to actually set things down where you don't need traffic to occur. It'll be at the very rear part of the site.
You're talking like, it's gotta be pretty big if you're talking tractor trailers coming in there, and
No, the only thing is the tractor trailer may nick that corner as they're making a big turning movement to turn around. They're not actually driving over top of it, it's just the very outer edge of where that tractor trailer might maneuver.
your neighbor over there where is he gonna be able to pull in and back up? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, so basically, the way we've got the site designed, we've got Kevin's lot butting up against that street so that when the Surelight people come in, they'll be able to go back and make a big turning hammerhead maneuver and then back into the Surelight site. Right now, they've got to make about an 8-point turn, and they end up getting off the road into the dirt. And then the same for Kevin's site. They'll come off of Surelight and kind of angle into his site and pull forward and be able to back straight into his dock.
Is there, when you're talking about, because if you go back there, you're gonna have to turn around.
Correct.
You know, when it's hot or what have you, when they turn, they're going, them tractor trailers are gonna dig holes in that gravel. But is they more or less the trailer and stuff, the way you just got it set up, is he gonna be on their dock when he's turning around, or what he's doing back here?
I don't even
'Cause
think that they'll be
that'd be
turning
a mess.
around on the gravel. They'll be on our concrete or on the road. on the
Okay.
roadway.
Okay, so that, yeah, 'cause that way you haven't got an issue.
From having to concrete 2 acres,
Yeah,
you know, since
Sure.
I don't necessarily need it all to be concrete.
right.
And we thought in turn as well, it'd be better for us to be able to use that for some of our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, that way we're not creating a lot of water runoff onto the concrete.
Right.
We've got some natural-ish areas in the back.
Right.
That's what I was gonna get to. I'd rather see the gravel anyway, because I know there's a drainage problem in that area. And that was my question. This is not gonna interfere with any of the other lots next to it?
No, and in fact, I'll go ahead and make this comment. While we were performing the site plan review internally, the gravel actually helps the stormwater runoff calcs.
Yeah.
And it's actually a benefit to the
Right.
site.
It stabilizes that transition from the end of the pavement to where grass starts. And if you have an area where, if you stop it there and you end up laying out some things and they're in the grass and grass is growing up around it, then as that semi's trying to maneuver, he doesn't know if that tail end of that trailer gets near the grass, is there something back there? But if it's stabilized and you can see the 2 or 3 things that are setting out, then he doesn't have to worry if he gets a little further than he needs to.
Right.
So, but there won't be any turning movement in that gravel. It's just that as you're getting near it, if you know you've got a 30-foot buffer back there or whatever it is, they can make that maneuver without worrying if they're gonna impact something.
I just want to reiterate one thing. So the drainage is not going to affect any of the other property, because I don't want a couple of years down the road, the neighbors say, oh, well, they did this, and now all their water's coming over here.
What we're
'Cause
having
I know
to
there
do
was a
is-
problem there.
What we're having to do is, obviously with the retainage pond and everything on the site, you know, the water, the way it sat before, fell on the site and just rolled basically towards that drainage swell going between us and O'Reilly and down into Terrace Creek. So now we're actually containing that water for a period of time, and then it's gonna be actually a slower process than what it has been. So I would say, no, we're not gonna affect anybody.
All of our site water is contained within the site and handled within the site and discharged directly into that drainage path that goes back behind everybody and dumps down in there near the marina. So no site runoff whatsoever.
Yeah, Tony, and that's one thing that we do require in our review process. They are, when they make these improvements, they're going to improve the stormwater issue.
Okay.
So you can actually make it like when if you pour concrete, you're just gonna have a little disc like where to bring it to the drain.
Correct. We've
That'll
got drainage structures in the middle of the hard surface that will capture that, and then on the edges where we transition, most of that all gets into the center of the site. There's some hillsides with some grass that's gonna run off, you just can't catch it. But it's drastically less than what Ponderosa was. Ponderosa went into a pipe and went right into the ditch. It was never treated, it was never detained, it was never decelerated. This will be a drastic improvement from the standpoint of stormwater. And in reality, the amount of impermeable area on the site is a little bit less than what Ponderosa was before. So even if we just released it as it was, it'd be about a wash, if not a little bit better. But because we're utilizing current methodology that you have to take this water and slow it down, it should be a drastic improvement.
They also have a oil water dissipator in this project. It actually helps clean up the water also. So it's the stormwater will be a definite improvement.
Great, okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, Kevin, would you like to discuss your part of the variance process on the signage?
Yes, sir. I'm Kevin McCord with Signorama. So in your packets, you'll see some drawings for some proposed signage that we're proposing for the building. The two building signs, as you can see on your drawing, are larger than what code allows. We were anticipating, or we were going to try and reuse the existing Signorama and Yesco signs that we have on our current building, but when we put those on the new building, they looked like postage stamps. So we in turn upsized them a bit, as you can see, and I think they fit the elevation appropriately and don't appear to be too large. The pylon sign itself, while the square footage seems maybe a little out of whack, what I did was take basically a square around the total of the sign as Mike would calculate it, and calculated the square footage that way. But as you can see, the way it's shaped and designed, you know, there is what I would think a limited amount of signage for the Signorama and the Yesco panel. Then there's the LED display there as well, which is about the same size as what we have now. So overall, that sign, square footage wise, usable, is actually smaller than our current location. I wasn't trying to do anything too wacky or crazy, but I did like the old school look with the arrow. I think it kind of fit, you know, what we were trying to do for that. So we're asking for size variances for the pylon sign and the two wall signs, and the square footage variance that goes with that. Is that correct, Mike?
Yes.
Ish, okay.
So what you was telling us, Mike, is this up to code, or is it too big, or is it?
Well, it's not per code is why he's asking for the variance. And that's what it is. The amount of signage and being an electronic reader board is what he's asking to deviate from what the code allows. And that's why we have the variance process.
So that's on the signs on the building itself and an information board?
And
That's
a
not the front
and a
sign?
marquee sign.
Yeah, there's two
Okay.
signs, Signorama and Yesco on the front elevation. Then there's the marquee sign,
The marquee
which would be in the
sign.
same location that the old sign is. And it's actually shorter than that one.
Okay,
So-
so your new sign's not gonna block any other signs, because in the drawing, there's a sign back there, but I'm thinking maybe that's an old sign?
Yeah, if you're standing, you know, back on Shurelight, yeah, I mean, you're gonna see the sign, but if you're on the roadway, it's definitely not blocking anybody.
Okay,
And as you look at the site plan, the building itself sits back quite a bit off of 50 anyway.
Is IDOT good with this?
There again, that's between him and NDOT, so.
Yeah, we're not
We're
not in their scope because of where we put the building, I think, is what, yeah.
He's saying
From the signage perspective, yeah, I don't think we're in there.
Not in their right of way.
No, we're not in there right away.
Just kinda gotta watch, cause I know, it's like Hollywood's got one of these signs.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when we're coming up to the stoplight there, a lot of times, you'll be looking, I didn't know if that would create a problem with it or not.
No,
I think it's neat. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah, there's
innovation.
multitudes of studies out there that, you know, if you adhere to certain guidelines and restrictions, that these signage actually helps visibility instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
Now, if you're flashing lights at people, I can see where that's a problem. You know, we don't do that now. We don't anticipate to do that. Just not what we're about, so.
And one comment I do want to make, and Lenny, this is for you also, is that what we have jurisdiction on is our code, dealing with our code. Now, if you need anything from any other local, state, or federal agency, that is on you, Kevin.
Understood.
So,
I kinda like it. I mean, I think it's pretty neat.
I think it's a nice looking sign, as long as it's not blocking anybody, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
okay, that being said, do we have any other questions from the board members?
As a note, we had no one call in from the public.
Okay.
About our guys, they got anything?
Anybody on the phone have any questions for Kevin?
No, my only question was asked by Tony earlier, so I'm good with it.
Okay.
Okay, that being said then, I would ask to see if anyone will make a motion in a second to approve this site plan pending the BZA approval of the variances.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Lenny, you made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Jim Crook.
Yeah, Jim, we got you down here. Again, we're going to do a roll call, but all in favor, if you are, please answer aye. If you're not, answer nay. Jim Crook.
Aye.
Derry Hutcherson.
Aye.
Owen Cross.
Aye.
Brett Bondurant.
Aye.
Lenny Fryman.
Aye.
And Tony Abbott.
Aye.
Okay, that approves unanimously. Okay, now we need to address the variance because they've requested this, we've heard it, now we need to forward it on to the Board of Zoning Appeals with one of three recommendations, either no recommendation, favorable recommendation, or a recommendation to deny. Do we have a motion to forward this on with one of those three recommendations?
I'll make the motion with a favorable recommendation.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
I second Owen Cross.
Okay. Again, we'll do a roll call vote on this to see if everyone's in favor. Jim Crook.
Aye.
Derry Hutcherson.
Aye.
Owen Cross.
Aye.
Brett Bondurant.
Aye.
Lenny Fryman.
Aye.
And Tony Abbott.
Aye.
Okay, that has been forwarded on. Guys, thank you for your presentation. If you would, contact me Monday so we can start the second round for your variance process.
Looks good,
Now,
guys.
and guys, before you walk out of here, I do have a couple quick comments for you. Once everything is done and you submit for the actual permit, I will also need to make sure that we do have a copy of your maintenance agreement, Kevin, with your neighbor. And a little FYI, you will need to contact the clerk treasurer's office to get with them about revising your current business license so you're tied to your new location. Okay, do we have any old business?
That I know of.
Okay, if there's no old business, I would like to ask for a motion of adjournment.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, anyone opposed? We will adjourn this meeting, and members, I know this is something new that we've never done, so afterwards, if you want to give me any feedback on how this did or did not work, please contact me so we can try to make it better if we have to do this again. Have a good day, guys. Meeting is over.
Okay.
It's like this when we have our other meetings too.
I mean, it works. I'd rather do this and kind of laugh about it a little bit and.
Oh, yeah.
And let things keep rolling
Hey,
than
that's-
just sit on our hands.
Yeah.
so.
I think it's neat that we can laugh about it. I mean, that's what makes it interesting. You never know